So guess who's sore today? It's me. I'm sore. Hi. Yeah. So I am definitely on the sore side. I have been more sore than I am currently. I would say I'm at about a 5 with soreness, which isn't too bad. But I am there. I filmed breakfast. I'm gonna film dinner in a little bit. I think I'm gonna do pasta again since I have so many of them. Pasta, and I don't know what I have for protein. I can do chicken again, but I don't think I want to. I try not to do like the same protein every day. 200 grams of pasta. I know that some people prefer to meal prep or have to in order to eat the diet that they've designated for themselves. But for me personally, I love to eat fresh meals. I tried meal prepping in the past, and on the second day of meal prep, I start to get grossed out, and by the third day, I'm really grossed out by the food. I just don't enjoy that. When I turned 12, my mom bought me a 24-hour fitness membership. And I remember being so excited, and I was like the only one in my whole school that had a gym membership at 12. So I only got to go when she did. But I always loved it ever since I was little. My brothers are super into fitness, and occasionally we get to work out together. So usually when I go to the gym, I go by myself. I like it that way, because it's like me time. I get to focus on my body. I get to tune into what's going on with me. Sometimes I take my sister-in-law or my mom, and I love going with them. And the sun's out. There's not a single cloud in the sky. So pretty. I think after mastering the art of consistency, the gym has become something I look forward to. I know for a long time when I would go, there were days where I didn't want to be there, and I would make myself go. And even over the years, I would freak out when I would miss like a week or two, and I would think to myself, am I gonna backtrack? And I would get stressed out thinking that I was gonna lose all my progress and all the work I had put in. This last year that I wasn't going, I realized my identity isn't in the gym. My identity is in God. It's easy to get in our heads and think, like, I need to do this to be good enough. I need to look like this to be good enough. I need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Q, R, S, T, U, W, X, Y, and Z. Like, there's always going to be something that you need to improve on in your life. There's always going to be something about yourself that you can change, that you can make better. There's always going to be something. And God lets us know in our courtship with Him that you are perfect exactly as you are. You don't need to attain anything more than who you are at this very moment. Even if you have nothing, even if you lost it all, even if you've never had anything in your life, like, you matter. You have significance. And it's not about how the world defines significance, because the world will tell you you need to look a certain way, you need to dress a certain way, you need to live in a certain location, you need to have these degrees in this business, and like a certain amount of money. You have to fit a certain criteria to be good enough in this world, for people to listen, for people to care about what you have to say, for people to care about you. You have to meet all these standards. This is so good. And with God, those standards have already been met the moment we were conceived. God knew us before we were even conceived. God knew us in the womb. He knows how hairs you have on your head. God knows you so deeply, and you are so, so deeply loved exactly as you are. And unfortunately, people around you and people in the world will still try and tell you, like, whatever. It's not true. But it is true. And usually the people that don't believe that are the ones that need the most love and need the most forgiveness and need more of God. Because God softens us. If I would have allowed all of the things that have happened to me in my lifetime, in my childhood, in my adolescence, in my early adulthood, if I would have let those things define me as a human, I'd be a terrible human being. Because I allowed things in my life that showed me a darkness in this world that I would never wish on anyone. But that darkness is what reminds me that it is important for me to show up in this world. Because that darkness has not overcome me. That darkness has not overtaken me, and it never will. And my showing up in the world is a reminder to the enemy and everyone in his camp that I'm here to stay. And I'm here to glorify God. And I'm here to represent God. And I will continue to do that every single day for the rest of my life. And although that comes with attacks and naysayers and unkind people, unkind experiences, it's my calling, it's my purpose. And I'm not going to be like Jonah. You all know Jonah and the whale, right? Jonah had a calling on his life, and he was so afraid of his calling that he kept running away, physically running away from his calling. And one of those runaway sessions that he had, he ended up at sea, and he was devoured by a huge whale. And the whale spit him out, and he ended up in another town, and God kept calling him to a specific town to give a message to the people of this town. And he refused. He was so scared. He didn't want to do it. And eventually he ended up in his purpose. He ended up in his calling, and he ended up going to tell the people the message that God had given him, and all was well. And it's kind of silly because he was so afraid of something so simple and went through so many experiences just because he didn't want to do what God told him to do. And when he did it, it wasn't even really hard. A lot of people may argue that the story of Jonah is not a real story, but that's not really the message. It's an allegory for our wanting to run away sometimes from the simple things in life that give us our meaning. God designed all of us with a purpose. He designed all of us with a calling. And majority of people don't ever wake up to their calling out of fear of being seen. When Jesus was walking the earth, one of his apostles told him that he was good. And Jesus looked at him and said, I am not good. Only God is good. Because innately, when you're a human, our primal instincts are just not good. We're not good people. And we can attain perfection in God, and we can be great representations of God here in the world. But without God, separate from God, we are nothing. Like, we are not good. We can't rely on people to give us our definition of good. We shouldn't put our hope in people. We shouldn't put our hope in man. That's why Jesus said, forgive 70 times 7. So when people hurt you, you have to forgive them again and again and again and again. And that doesn't mean to put yourself in abusive situations and to be around people that are abusing you. That's completely different. Jesus hated abuse. Jesus hated mistreatment. So that's not the kind of forgiveness he's talking about. But let's say somebody hurts you and that same issue keeps coming up in your mind, right? Again and again and again. You forgive them again and again and again in your head, because that issue will keep coming up until maybe some time has passed. Maybe you've gone through some healing and done the work. Sometimes you have to forgive the same instance many, 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 many times. And everyone's different with their healing. Some people never heal from the things that they've been through. And some people heal and they can teach others how to heal. And I know that's a part of my purpose. That's a part of why I chose psychology as my field of study. It is why I'm so passionate about it. I spent so many years studying it outside of school that now I'm just trying to catch up my education to my knowledge, because my knowledge exceeds my studies. But you can't be a good therapist with just knowledge. I feel like in order to be a good therapist, you have to have gone through things in your life, things that have changed you from within, things that allow you to connect with humans on every level. And he revealed to me that where God is calling me to, I need to be able to represent and understand a multitude of people. He can't take me where he's calling me to and me be so far disconnected and so far removed from humans and their experiences that I don't hear them anymore. I don't hear their pain and their suffering. I know what it was like to come from poverty and to feel unseen and to feel unheard. To feel like I didn't exist. The more God grows me, the more that I know that it's for him and it's for his glory and it's for his kingdom. It's not for me. Because if I didn't have God, I wouldn't be who I am. So I get no credit. And I know God is going to continue to use me to glorify himself in my life. Because where I come from, life that I had, the experiences I had, I shouldn't be where I'm at. I should be another statistic. And I'm not. I'm who God says that I am. And there's power in my existence. There's power in my presence. There's power in my silence. And there's power in my words. And that's all I gotta say about that.